Hi, and welcome to the Pet Healer Podcast. This is your host, Dr. Mitzi Vargas, and today we are talking about something really interesting. There is an article that I was reading about the University of Pennsylvania vet school study on diabetes and the link to colder climates or northern climates, cool temperatures in general. And so the funny thing is that this has been studied previously with humans, and the link has been found between diabetes mellitus type 1 in humans and northern climates where there's cooler temperatures all around. And so there is there's no real cause. The cause, they don't really know what the underlying cause is that for this link, but the humans was previous studies and they did establish it. It has never been done before for dogs, and I feel they did a really good job. They got 960 pets, dogs, all across the United States that have been diagnosed with diabetes mellitus. And what they explore is that they were either diagnosed during the winter month, or mostly the numbers came from regions that have been known to have colder temperatures throughout the year. And so I have a feeling that the Western medicine is coming to a point where they have to admit that the environment is not different from us, that there is such thing as an influence on the environment. There's a whole new science field called epigenetics, and it is how do your circumstances, the nurturing, the environment that you're in affects your gene expression of disease. And so it's no different to me to say what the ancient Chinese conclusions that they arrived by observation, that we're not alone in the universe, obviously, that we are part of the ecosystem. We're energetically linked to our surroundings, and it will affect us. The surroundings will affect us. And so I feel that this is a confirmation that the ancient Chinese philosophers knew thousands, about 5 millennia ago, that again, that the disease process is not simple, is not a cookie cutter type situation, because it depends on multiple factors. And like my Sifu and mentor, Dr. Shea, says, it depends. Now, I can get some assumptions, and some of the researchers too, that maybe there's a correlation with vitamin D. Now, remembering in the COVID pandemic, vitamin D was touted as maybe a big factor in the hospitalization and intubation of patients. And so they noticed that the higher number of patients were intubated that had lower vitamin levels, less than 25, and so, which is really deficient. And so they extrapolated the influence of the vitamin D into the immune system, the ability to fight disease, the Wei Qi, the Sen or Song Qi, which is what the Chinese said. And so light is important. Sunlight is very important to many of the hormonal pathways in our body. Now, insulin, there might be a link between vitamin D and or sunlight and the insulin production of insulin. So, or how the body metabolizes the insulin could be affected. I am a Florida girl, so I love the sun and I love the hot weather. So I hopefully it will be a little protected by my love of the sun, having a vitamin D. But even because we're veterinarians and we stay indoors so long, peak hours of the day, where the sun is up, we are inside working. And so we miss those really essential times of the race. And if we don't have a good sleeping pattern, we get sick ourselves, right? And so the funny thing is my vitamin D was a little bit low as well, even though I have a minimum of 20 minutes of sun a day. And it's just at the end of the day, not as strong, but I thought that I was doing good. So even I have to take vitamin D supplementation. Now, in dogs, vitamin D supplementation is easily done. We have a lot of our pets, and we send our testing for VDI labs in California, and they do get the vitamin D levels. And we have found a big correlation in disease and low vitamin D levels, especially cancer. So now, when I saw that, I just smiled when I saw the article, and I said, okay, yes, the Western medicine is catching up to what we know in the alternative or integrative medicine world, that the epigenetics, the environment really affects not only environment, but emotional state affects your health as well. So a dog that is stressed out in a colder climate, eating dry processed foods and being over vaccinated, definitely I think that's a combo for some sort of autoimmune disease and type 1 diabetes, that has some sort of autoimmune marker to it. So what I definitely gather from this is that vitamin D's role in disease, not only into getting sick, like with the flu or in pets with upper respiratories or skin disease or anything like that, but with cancer as well. It plays a big role. And so we need to account for that for our pets if you live in a northern climate. So make sure that you have enough outdoor time with your pet where they can receive beneficial sunlight. But perhaps in the winter month, even for us Floridians, winter, even though we have sun, but it's not as strong, or the temperatures can be chilly. So let's just up our vitamin D recommendation for those months. Now, vitamin D is fat soluble, so it can bioaccumulate and cause toxicity. So we have to be watchful of that. But it is as easy as a blood test, and we can just send it out and see the baseline vitamin D level, and then just supplement with drops of vitamin D. That's my recommendation. But it was just really interesting to see how just this survey of 960, for dogs, about 33% were diagnosed in the winter, as compared to like the other seasons, 19% in the fall, 24% in the summer. So, and then in the geographic mapping of this study, 46% of all diagnoses were in the northern regions, versus the west or the central or the southern states. So 46% is pretty big. And more than 31 million dogs reside here in the South. So we have more dogs in Florida, Texas, and all the southern states than in the northern states. So for us to see this study to come up with this conclusion is definitely significant. So anyways, I hope you found it interesting like I did, and I found, hopefully that you learned something. If you did, please share with a friend and like and subscribe. That's how we stay online. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next episode.